Hey y'all, this is your girl Tysheen and I'm back with another video. How you doing? How you feeling? I hope you're doing great. I hope you're doing great. Yeah, so we're gonna be reacting to American things Europeans can't understand. Okay, stuff y'all don't understand. Stuff that we probably don't even understand. Okay, there's some things that we don't even understand. Okay, so you're not the only one. You're not the only one, okay? Some of us was born and raised here and we don't understand a lot of things here. So let's get straight to the video.
While the culture of the United States is exported all over the world in films and on TV, it also abides by some laws and practices that many consider unusual. Europeans in particular seem to have a hard time wrapping their heads around some of them. From child beauty pageants to gun laws, let's take a look at some American things that Europeans can't understand. Sick of commercials. If you're a European enjoying a cozy night in on the couch in America, some of the stuff on TV may shock and surprise you. And no, I'm not talking about Keeping Up with the Kardashians. I'm talking about commercials, which arrive so frequently it makes watching TV feel almost unbearable to anyone unaccustomed to it.
Seals leaks instantly. Use it on.
Especially pharmaceutical commercials, which usually show grumpy men and women turned into smiling, happy people by the product being sold. These are usually followed by an almost comically long list of potential side effects spoken at double speed, like Ambien ad.
As well as abnormal behaviors such as being more outgoing or aggressive than normal, confusion, agitation, and hallucinations may occur. Don't take it with alcohol as it may increase these behaviors. Allergic reactions such as shortness of breath, swelling of your tongue or throat may occur and in rare cases may be fatal. Side effects may include next-day drowsiness, dizziness, and headache. In patients with depression, worsening of depression including risk of suicide may occur.
These types
I know it's not funny, but sometimes you have to laugh because you're trying to sell me something where the side effect could be shortness of breath, may cause heart attack, may cause cancer, may cause this, that. Yeah. These commercials are crazy.
Types of direct-to-consumer commercials peddle prescription drugs, which is an advertising standard that was rejected by the European Commission back in 2002. The Commission stated that pharmaceutical companies were unable to provide impartial information on their medicines. If that's the case, why is it practiced in America? To put it simply, there's simply never been a federal law passed to outlaw the practice. This is in no small part thanks to the fact that direct-to-consumer drugs and their accompanying ads are a huge business. And in America, whether it's right or wrong, the rules tend to follow the money. Europeans might actually need a pill for the headache all those ads give them. May cause drowsiness, loss of limb, telepathic powers, and a violent hatred of cheese. No place like home. Let's say you're a European who's just moved over to America. You found a house in a nice residential neighborhood and you're going through your bills. Rent, water, gas, electric, all seems in order. But wait a second. What's a homeowners association fee? To a native, that's a pretty obvious question. But for Europeans, it's an unwelcome surprise.
Do y'all really want to know what that is? Basically, it's a bunch of people going to tell you what to do. Okay? That's the thing. People always talk about, own your own home, you should buy a house and stuff like that. But people fail to understand that it is not easy owning your own home, especially here. I don't know about other countries, but here you're gonna be paying so many. There's gonna be so many bills you're gonna have to pay. Tax, this home, and I heard it's not easy. You gotta pay for maintenance. You gotta pay. It's a lot of stuff you have to pay for, and it's not cheap. Okay, and it's definitely not cheap. It's at the end of the day, it doesn't even feel like it's your own home. You know, a home is supposed to be, you should be able to feel good and feel comfortable in your own home, but you really don't, because you really don't really own your home. Well, you own your home, but it's if you don't pay your bills, your home will be taken away from you. I feel like anything that could be taken away from you, you really don't own, if that makes sense. So yeah.
These fees contributes to the local homeowners association, which is somewhat like a neighborhood watch, but managing funds to be reinvested into the community. It goes towards
Sure.
things like residential maintenance and common spaces, which keeps residents happy and property values up. With around
Sure.
24% of all Americans living under a homeowners association, they pay $200 to $300 on average per month in fees to these entities. Now, while some Europeans might struggle with this concept, it was a form of governance that was actually invented by France back in 1804. The condominium law was exported to the US, where it became incredibly popular.
I
So, for
didn't
any
know that.
European that wants to complain about homeowner regulations and fees, feel free to blame the French.
I blame y'all. So you started this. You started it, huh? Thanks a lot.
Vacant vacation days. The USA has one of the largest economies in the world. A tremendous economy, in the president's words. But Europeans looking to get into the American world of work are often shocked when it comes to vacation time. US workers are not entitled to mandatory paid vacation at all. Usually, the issue of paid leave is left at the discretion of employers. And yes, that does include national holidays. According to
Yes.
research from the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, in 2017, only 77% of American workers had access to paid vacation. Now, the reason that might leave Europeans slack-jawed is because mandatory paid vacation time in Europe starts at 4 weeks. In fact, America is one of the only Western countries where law doesn't enforce companies to give its employees mandatory paid vacation time. Don't believe me?
That's crazy.
Take a look at this map breaking down mandatory paid vacation time by country. Only the great countries are known not to give paid time off. It's a working culture that undoubtedly favors employers over employees. Americans might want to think about learning Chinese instead, as employers in China must legally offer 5 days of holiday. Although that is after one continuous year of work. And some lose some, I guess. Florida man. If the American states could be looked at as a dysfunctional family, then Florida would be the weird uncle who once ran away with the circus and wrestled a tiger. The
Damn.
Sunshine State is the third most populous state in the USA and receives over 100 million visitors year on year. With so many people living between Miami Beach, Disneyland, and Pensacola, a little crazy is bound to be found on the fringes of society. But what Europeans aren't prepared for are the crazy antics of Floridians that make daily headlines. From Florida man believed that he was half man, half dog in March 2019 to Florida man robs bank, strips naked, then runs down the street throwing stolen money everywhere in July 2017. You can search the internet for almost any day of the year and find a headline announcing Florida man has committed an utterly baffling crime. There doesn't seem to be an equivalent for any European countries, although the UK comes close with some of its questionable journalism topics like
Britain's fattest woman ate fridge and died.
What?
Let me know the funniest local headlines you've ever seen at stories@bmas.com.
I don't know much about Florida, but I heard they got some crazy people out there.
VAT trouble. In Europe, like most of the world, tax is built into the price of items in-store and online. So what you see on the tag is what you pay. But Europeans visiting an American store might be left doing a double take at their bill when they reach the register. There is no national sales tax or value-added tax in America. Instead, American taxes differ by jurisdiction, of which there are around 7,000.
Every state is
Differences in these
different.
local at stories@bmas.com. VAT trouble. In Europe, like most of the world, tax is built into the price of items in-store and online. So what you see on the tag is what you pay. But Europeans visiting an American store might be left doing a double take at their bill when they reach the register. There is no national sales tax or value-added tax in America. Instead, American taxes differ by jurisdiction, of which there are around 7,000. Differences in these local rates, state taxes, or combined state and local taxes means that final prices for the same item can differ from one street to the next.
That's so true. If you see something here and you see a price that says, I don't know, $20, it's not going to be $20. Okay, so if you see a sign that says this shirt is $20, it is not $20. Anything you buy that says $20 is not $20. You're gonna be paid $20 and something. I don't know. Depends on the tax. So, like he said, every state has different tax. So yeah. I'm sorry. I know it's terrible, right? It's just terrible.
Next, for first-time shoppers in the U.S., this unpleasant surprise is
Look at
to
this.
rite of
I'll just put a
passage.
pause. Well, you can put it on pause yourself, but look at this. Look at that tax right there. You see the tax? $464 right there in that corner right there. I don't know if you can see it. Crazy. Tax 8%.
That no one asked for. Tipping point. A meal at a restaurant can be a real treat, but Europeans visiting America sometimes stress about the tip. Although tipping anywhere up to 20% seems normal to most Americans, there's no such obligation in Europe. Indeed, it's mostly seen as a bonus reward for good service, and in some European countries, it's even considered rude and excessive to leave a tip. The American
I wish it was rude here. Like, come on. Like, not only you pay for the food, but you're paying tax and tip.
Federal government, however, states that tips can be used to satisfy the difference between the employee's hourly wage and the standard minimum
So
wage.
pay them good wage.
This means food servers, valets, and in-house staff in certain states can be working for a federal wage of just $2.13 per hour, which is about €1.96. So if you're a European visitor to the States, get ready to factor in your tip to the overall price of.
Look at this. I want y'all to see this. Y'all see this? I hope y'all looking at it.
Your meal. You might well be contributing to a struggling waiter's rent. Child beauty pageants. If you've ever been unfortunate enough to have watched an episode of Toddlers and Tiaras on TLC, I think you might side with the Europeans on the next matter. Child beauty pageants are common across America and usually consist of dolled-up little girls being thrust onto a stage to entertain a crowd of screaming moms. It's truly bizarre, but what's equally strange is how the craze got started. Child pageants originated from American Better Baby contests in the early 20th century. Babies would be scored on characteristics like weight, quality of skin, and face shape, supposedly in the name of helping to educate mothers on best practices for healthy babies. But of course, it wasn't just for education purposes. There were also cash rewards and trophies for top-ranking toddlers. This has slowly devolved into the bedazzled tradition of pushing.
This is what I hate. This is what I really, really hate. If you're gonna base on a kid, based on their talent, you know, that's it. But the looks is very, to me personally, I just find it very, very disturbing. A kid shouldn't be dressed like a grown 50-year-old woman. Like, look at them. Look at her.
A child on stage in full makeup and styled hair to do a dance routine for prize money. Although some European countries host similar but smaller events, others like France have gone as far as to ban all such pageants, claiming they're an unhealthy way to treat young girls. If you ask me, their general creepiness alone should be enough to slam the brakes on child beauty pageants. Honey boo boo? No thanks. Size is everything. According to an old saying, everything's bigger in Texas. But if you're a European, you'll probably think that about all of America, right down to its people. It's no secret that America has a little bit of a weight problem. 2/3 of American adults classify as overweight, and it's estimated that almost 40% of adults in the U.S. aged 20 and over are obese. Contrasted to Europe, where a survey carried out in 2014 labeled just 15% of adults obese. That's a king-size difference, with a side of fries. The American tendency to overeat might have something to do with portion sizes in the States.
Yeah.
A study comparing portions in Paris and Philadelphia revealed food outlet portions were 25% larger in Philly. And a review of 17 different single-serve foods like yogurt and candy bars found that 14 of them were bigger in Philadelphia. While a one state to one country comparison doesn't necessarily represent the whole, Europeans on social media often comment on how much bigger everything seems stateside. Have you noticed this difference in portion sizes? Let me know in the comments below. Bonus points for food puns.
Yeah.
Oh, shoot.
I've noticed the difference. I've watched a couple of videos where, especially it's a YouTube channel where they compare food here in the States and in other countries. Like, our food is always tend to be bigger. So, yeah.
Sugar. Living in America can really give you a taste for the sweet life, but your teeth won't thank you for it. Why? Well, some American foods and drinks have been found to contain huge amounts of sugar compared to their European equivalents.
Yes.
Some common bread brands contain up to 6 grams of sugar per serving, 6 times the amount found in European counterparts.
Only
but
one.
It doesn't end there. Taking a look at Pizza Hut's sugar content reveals most of their stateside pizzas have close to double the amount of sugar per slice as European versions. And in Starbucks, a UK venti white chocolate mocha will contain 62.4 grams of sugar.
Whoa.
But in America, that shoots up to 72 grams. I've heard of sweetening the deal, but any
That's
Europeans
a lot.
making the trip across the Atlantic might leave suffering from the toothache. Gaps in the market. European standards of building a public restroom involve plenty of privacy, mainly in the form of cubicles with doors that are more door than gap. Seems obvious, but it's a standard that Americans just can't seem to adopt. With ridiculously large gaps at the top, bottom, and sides, it makes for a truly uncomfortable first visit to an American.
Look at the difference. You see the difference in American side. You see the gap. That's definitely true. I don't see why we have a gap. They're being so cheap. That's what it is. Cause I've used a couple of public bathrooms where I feel like somebody could see me using the toilet, and I don't know what store it was. I think it was Target, one of them stores. And I'm using a bathroom. I couldn't tell the last time I did, but I'm just saying when I did before, I had to use like the toilet tissue. I had to like cover the gap so I could use it, because I know for a fact somebody could see me, because I could see them. So I know they could see me. And you never feel comfortable. So it's like, yeah, I try to avoid it.
American toilet for unwitting visitors. On their first time, Europeans are left feeling especially susceptible to unwelcome visitors and peeping Toms. Some people even resort to taping up the gap to prevent prying eyes looking in. But
you see, they showed you with the tissue. That's what I have to do. I use it. Yeah. You have to use tissue to cover the gap.
as strange as the design seems, there are some theories as to why Americans build their stalls this way. For a start, high floor gaps allow for easier cleaning, and they do make it simpler to pass toilet paper from one cubicle to another. On top of that, the vertical gaps act as a deterrent for anyone thinking of doing anything naughty behind closed doors. But there's always the chance you might accidentally get a real eyeful. Maybe just close your eyes before entering any American restrooms.
I guess, okay, so I guess there's a reason why they do that, but it's still, it's not comfortable for people who want to use it though.
Triggered. It strikes many Europeans as a bit odd that in America you can pick up your groceries from one aisle of a store and a gun from another. Indeed, you can buy guns over the counter in places like Walmart, and ammo can be found in pharmacies. But seeing as guns are still legal in many parts of Europe, what is it that Europeans find weird about the gun-loving, rifle-wielding, Second Amendment-touting American citizen? It might have something to do with America's gun-related death rate, seeing as, per capita, there were 12 gun-related deaths for every 100,000 people in America in 2017. Very few European countries exceed 3 gun-related deaths per 100,000 people, and none even come close to America's 12 per 100,000. The causes of the problem are fiercely debated, but it might have something to do with how easy it is to buy a gun. Background checks are usually carried out, but a research survey from Harvard in 2015 estimated that a third of American gun owners have purchased a firearm without a background check. In Europe, many countries like Austria and Germany require would-be gun owners to go through a rigorous 7-step procedure before owning a gun. High-caliber handguns are outright banned in the UK, and many categories of semi-automatic weapons are illegal to own across Europe.
But where it come
It's simply much harder to legally purchase a gun in Europe than it is in the US, which I'm sure is a trigger point for some. Have you
But it makes you think, like, where is it coming from? Like, where is it coming from? Because you don't, you know, there are people, of course, out there that don't need that and don't need a license. But it makes you think, like, where is it coming from? Who's making them? That's where they need to crack it down on. Where is it coming from? Who's making them? I mean, we've been talking about this whole gun law thing since I was a kid. Since I was a little kid. I don't think it's ever gonna stop. All these, you know, all these violence with the guns and all of this. I hear it all the time. They're planning to ban it. They're planning to stop it. They've been saying this since I was a kid. I don't think it's ever going to stop. To be honest with you, I don't think it's ever going to stop. But it's sad that we live in a world like this. Talking about guns, I was watching the news. It's so crazy I'm watching the news. I don't really watch the news. I shouldn't say I watch the news. I seen the article in someone who I follow. They live in Sweden, and I follow them. I think on TikTok. Yeah, that's what I seen it at, TikTok. And she was vlogging, recording herself in a mall, because that's where she works. I think she works in a mall. And it was a shootout. Some of y'all probably heard about it. This happened like a couple of days ago. What today is? Today's Monday. Today's the 22nd of August. And this happened a couple of days ago. And yeah, there was a shootout. I was shocked. I was like, wait, what? Someone has a gun and they shooting people? What the hell is going on? But I found out later on that somebody said is gang related. So yeah, so probably is. But it's still scary to know that, you know, this is slowly happening in other countries. You know, when you hear about guns and stuff, you always think of America. But now it's like, it's sad. It's like it's slowly going to other countries. You know, hopefully they'll stop it. And you know, but I mean, most countries are still strict with it. You know, it's not easy just to get a gun like that. They still strict. So, but I wish America was strict as other countries too. But it's just sad that that's just how it is here. I don't know if it's ever going to stop. But yeah. So comment below. Let me know what surprised you, because everything he's saying, it's like that. He's telling the truth. That's how it is here. And we don't even understand it. Most of the things that he talked about, we don't even understand. So yeah. But anyway, make sure you subscribe to my channel, and also don't forget to check these videos out. So yeah, I'll see you later.